Hello, programming engineers. Welcome back once more to this drives course. We are configuring our Yaskawa drive. We already entered our parameters in our previous video. And in this video, we're going to test out and we're going to try if everything that we entered worked. If everything that we did was correct or not. Okay? Now, something that I noticed when we entered our parameter A1-03 equals 3330, and it works perfectly well. But the problem is that it went back to factory settings. So this was already, I think, configured. And all that was missing left to configure was the motor velocity, which in this case we don't have any external potency meter, which there was nothing included in our drive. So therefore we need to modify our frequency from our keyboard with our arrows up or down. And I also entered our motor data plates just so we don't waste time. Okay. Because I'd like to go a little bit quicker in this part of the course so that it doesn't become monotonous. That way it goes a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and because you already saw the way to do this. So that for our next drives, we already see the different differences. Okay, so we're going to start and stop our motor 3 cycles, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Okay, so what's next? I was able to enter my frequency, which in this case it's 5 Hertz. Now remember that everything that has to do with frequency, when it's an F, means that the unit is Hertz. So 5 Hertz. So depending on what was your limit, this is the max velocity, 60 Hertz. So in this case, if I run to 60 Hertz, that means that its speed is going to be 1752 RPMs. But don't get this confused. This number is Hertz. All drives are handled through Hertz. Frequency variators. So F means frequency. Now let's see if this is true that it works. So now we're going to start this. Let's see, let's pull this closer. This was the start button, okay? If I want to shut it down, I click on the red button. Okay, so start, stop. Again, start it up. Here we can see how the shaft is turning, and stop. Now, if I start this and I increase the frequency, let's increase this here to double that. So it's not going to change a thing until I press the button, okay? So that's where we got a speed increase. Now what would happen if I wanted to change the direction? Or, if I wanted to change the direction of the spin. Same thing as would happen with our delta variator, okay? So here we're going to come back, and it's already at 10 Hertz. Now we're going to go back. Now, I'd like you guys to notice something. So I'm going to stop this, and here, for example, here we go. We're still having some issues with the camera, but this is only because I want us to look at the whole overview as a whole. I know that the camera is fixed, but sometimes I want to move it. I don't want to get this closer so I can teach you everything about the drives. And we are able to perceive it. I don't know if you're able to see the LED here. Do you remember this button? This is local or remote. If it's local, then what's it going to do? It's going to listen to the keyboard part. If it's set as remote, it's not going to listen to it. Okay, let's see if this works. So we're going to pull this away so you guys can see. Here we go. Now, it's already listening to the keyboard. So I'm going to stop this. Here we go. And I'm going to start this. Okay. Now, it's not going to listen to the digital part. And we're going to start this off. So now I'm going to change it again from remote to local. It's already removed. And now if I try to start it up, it's not going to do a single thing. Okay? So going back again, let's see here, and we are going to start it up. Okay? So it's only listening with one only button. We're only pressing one button. Stop, start. Stop, start. Stop. So if you want to modify our acceleration and deceleration times, if you consider that they are they're pretty long, we can shorten them. Okay? So the logic is exactly the same. Look for the parameters, the desired parameters, and they enter them. It's not much science to this, guys. So each parameter is going to depend on each company, as you already saw. It is a huge list of parameters. Okay? Now, I only showed you the most useful ones on the field, and the most important ones to start the motor, to start the fan, etc. So later on, we're going to look into auto tuning, and I'm also going to teach you how one of the drives that we already saw, how to run this, which is also very important. It's one of the things actually that probably in the future, if you don't know about this, it's another golden tip. You're going to have to change your full motor or your motor reducer. When you could have tested the tuning so that the gains were properly adjusted and you could adjust the type of control needed for your application so that way they could be matched, and that way you wouldn't have to buy a bigger motor. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that this is a little bit more advanced, and now this is going to be of huge help for your pocket or the company's pocket as well. I've seen some cases that since they don't know about auto tuning, what they do is they basically buy a new drive. They buy a new motor altogether. Or even they buy a much larger reducer because the motor doesn't take the capacity. That's when they don't know about auto tuning. Okay? And this is something that basically many engineers don't know about. So we're going with the most basic stuff, and with this we're already going to go to our next drive. Big hug, guys. Thank you very much for your attention. Any comments, please leave them at the bottom. Send me a message. Any questions you have, please send me a message. If you want to check out a different parameter, we can complement it in the course. Okay? But if you had any questions here, please do not hesitate and ask me. Big hug, and I'll see you guys in our next video.